Good afternoon, everyone. I welcome you all once again to an enlightening event where we would term it as a discussion. The topic is literature, no longer valued, but has become a medium of business. We will know more about this as we continue with the discussion. Can we have the screen off? So at first, before starting the event, my heartfelt gratitude to Dr. Ajay Kummar Pandey sir and Dr. Ratan Bhattacharjee. And it's wonderful having such eminent personalities with us today. Somebody's asking the link. Give me 1 minute. I think Dr. Sai Prakash sir has asked us to wait.
Good afternoon, Maushmi.
Good afternoon, sir. Thank you, sir. So we can begin. Actually, I want everyone to know each other today and have a healthy conversation. So let me introduce Dr. Ajay Kummar Pandey, sir. You must be watching him every day on every channel, media channels. You speak about Republic, you speak about Times Now, you speak about India Today, you speak about Aaj Tak, all the channels of India. If you're watching news regularly, if you're watching discussion session, you will see Dr. Ajay Kummar Pandey sir everywhere on media. So Dr. Ajay sir is a well-known personality of India who has earned laurels in varied fields ranging from advocacy, media, corporate, international diplomacy, and foreign trade, social and political work, aviation, chamber of trade and commerce, education, films, drama, poetry, and writing, and also as corporate business coach. Let me speak more about him. All right, Dr. Ajay Kummar Pandey, sir, is the advocate and consultant, Supreme Court of India and High Courts, 4C Supreme Law International, Delhi, NCR, Mumbai, and Dubai. He is a veteran journalist. He is the National General Secretary and spokesperson, Lok Janshakti Party, and the government led by Prime Minister Modi. And based out of the Supreme Court of India, Delhi, he heads an international law firm with offices in India and abroad, and is active in various domains of industry, ranging from advising and taking up litigation tasks of top-notch corporate clients, individuals, politicians, bureaucrats, and Bollywood. So the list is endless, but out of all, everything which I know about Dr. Ajay sir, I know he is a wonderful poet and a wonderful author. This is what made me pull him to this event. You speak about any topic on literature with him, he's there with us to give valuable inputs. We have Dr. Ratan Bhattacharjee, sir. Again, if you read newspaper, you will find his columns on all national dailies. He's a trilingual columnist, be it Assamese, Bengali, English. And if you are fond of poetry, you will find he's a poet of innumerable number of poetry books and an award-winning poet and author. He is currently affiliate faculty, English, Virginia Commonwealth University, Richmond, formerly associate professor and chair postgraduate Department of English, Dum Dum Motijil College. And he is at present the founder president of Kolkata Indo-American Society, KIAS. It's a growing society, and if you are interested in literature, you should ask him how to join this society. This is doing wonderful. So he is a trilingual columnist cum poet. He has served as the international visiting professor in Fair Lake Dickinson University, USA. Founder member in International Advisory Board, International Theodore Dreiser Society, Philadelphia. PhD guide come evaluator in various universities of India. And so many books, so many awards, the list is again endless. He is also a resource person to many international conferences on gender studies, post-colonial and American literature in the country and abroad. So the list is endless today, and we have such wonderful people with us. We have our authors. We have Shweta Mahendra today. She is the Vice President, Geo, Mumbai. We have Sai Prakash, sir. He is an eminent poet. award-winning poet and national and international award-winning poet, endless number. Even I would tell that Shweta ma'am has also been honored by Guinness record. So we have Shreyan Laha here. Shreyan Laha is one of the few renowned science fiction authors of India. All right, and Shreyan Laha is an outstanding editor also. All right, we have with us Tripathi. I call him Tripathi. He's Prabhakar Tripathi. He is again a young poet, budding poet, and like author of 2 books. We have Deepak Sharma. I managed to pull him today. I know he's busy, but somehow I requested him. He is advertisement and short filmmaker. Like if you find government advertisements and all, if you he used to make such ads and he is still into it. Advertisement and short filmmaker, senior creative director, serving brands since 2011. So today we are here to discuss something very important, because let me tell you, years back when I was doing literature, when I was studying literature in my university, I was also a columnist. So, I used to write columns for newspapers like Tribune. And Tribune used to pay me for the columns I had written. Then I joined mass communication and journalism. During the period of journalism, it was such an exciting period that when we used to write columns, we used to get paid. And that was a pocket money for us, because we were journalism students. We were doing part-time jobs in the radio news, DD news and all. And later we joined as full-time. But today when we come, literally selling books, papers, or different media, you just had to mail it to the editor. And if the editor found that the poetry is good enough to be worth enough to be published in the newspaper, the poetry used to get published. And there are few newspapers who used to pay for that, just a token of encouragement, right? And whenever columnists, whenever students or budding authors or whenever columnists, they used to write columns, they used to get published. They used to get recognized. But today, somehow, the scenario has changed. Today, recently, being a publisher too, I have heard, the authors coming to me and requesting, ma'am, जो book है, वो कैसे मीडिया तक पहुंचेगा? Book review खरीदने में कितना पैसा लगेगा? It is a shocking, phase to me when budding authors are asking me, how much do I have to pay to write a review on Amazon? But earlier, it was not like that. We used to read such amazing books. We used to review the books, and it was there on newspapers and Amazon. Somehow, literature has been used as a medium of business, right? So now if you want to get your columns published and you're newcomer, there are rates. You pay so much, you'll get published. Even if you do not write good, if you pay this much, you will get published. So it is a reputed personalities like Dr. Ajay sir, Ratan sir, you are regular columnist. You have been writing, since the time we were studying, and we take you as gurus. So why this change? Don't you think somewhere or somehow we are degrading the value of literature, but by not valuing language and literature, but valuing money than literature? Yes, I will start with Dr. Ratan sir, because Dr. Ajay, I have a specific question to Dr. Ajay sir also. Yes, Ratan sir, I'll make it, this program should be very short, but very, very informative. Yes, sir. Sir, please unmute yourself. You are a columnist. It's a question to you.
To me?
Yes, sir. What do you think? Why, sir, this certain phase, like you are regular writing, and I have seen, I have been studying you, I have been reading you, I have been learning a lot from you since, I was studying. The scenario then was different. And how do you, define, or how do you express this today? How will you express this?
Means it's a short answer or just a talk? I don't understand properly.
Sir, just give me your views before we go to Dr. Ajay, sir.
Oh, then we'll be discussing later. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Just
Yeah. Writing, it's money. Writing is money. And very recently, I read one book that is called Psychology of Money. Okay. And this book is published very recently. And that book was giving us how money is coming to our writing and everything that we create. It's a Morgan Housel wrote this book. And that book is discussing how our happiness and our lifestyle and our decisions all controlled by money, and our happiness is lost in the process. And what do you know, money at one time when writers were writing, you think of earlier poets, the poorest tribe on the earth means nobody was thinking that I write poems for earning money. This kind of thinking was not coming at all. And when Tagore was looking at the sky and rainwater was falling on the leaves, he wrote his first line, Jol pore pata nore, means water falls and leaves move. That is the first line that he wrote. He never thought that he would earn money, he would get the Nobel Prize. Then when Valmiki, our original poet of India, who was creating his immortal literature, do you remember that a pair of love birds mating together, Cronch and Cronchi? And the Cronch was killed, and the female bird was moving around that female bird. And Ratnakar, he was now in a trance, and he was looking at that scene. And he was so passionate about that killing of the bird, lovebird, during the mating time by a hunter. Then he started writing. He started uttering some words, Ma Nishada Pratishta, Tamogama Saswati Sama. So these kind of lines came automatically from a poet, and they never thought that I'll get money for this, creating this line. So originally, poets or creators, creative writers, they emerge spontaneously. And time is now changing. Today, when you thought of the Nobel Prize winner, John Fosse, then he's getting a huge amount of money. Okay. And you see, he is now maybe called the hugest amount he got for his book. Again, I'm telling you, another writer, George Bernard Shaw, he was very poor. Tagore was very rich, from a rich family. He got Nobel Prizes, get the money for the farmers' bank to help them. That is a different story. But when Bernard Shaw, he came from a very poor family, and he got the Nobel Prize almost at the fag end of his life. So when he got the Nobel Prize, he told, I reject this Nobel Prize because it's like a life belt thrown to me when I reach the other shore. Means I don't need the money now, but they are giving this Nobel Prize. So Bernard Shaw looked at the Nobel Prize as a source of money. So you see, the person who is a creator is never bothered about Nobel Prize or money or anything, any material temptation. But today, the topic that that Moushami Shazdev was organizing, I think this is one of the most timely topic I'll tell, because we need discussion on this topic when writers are writing for money. And, I will start my lecture later. I will discuss some more points on this view. I am very much happy that here is Honorable Advocate of Supreme Court of India, Dr. Ajay Kummar Pandey, and Shreyan Laha, very eminent journalist, and we have Tripathi Prabhakar and others. Those who are almost involved, committed to literature. And I don't know whether they're getting any money for all these things, because they're totally selfless commitment to literature. And Moushami Sachdev, you know, she is one of the youngest generation icon for encouraging and motivating people. She has a publishing concern also. Griffin Publication is doing this discussion. I don't think that this publication is also almost non-commercial. So there is some art film, there is some commercial films. And when it is called art film, it means jaha chole taha cholochitra, jaha chole na taha art film. It means which is not moving is art film, and which is moving is commercial film. So that kind of thing is happening because it brings money. And then commercial film, we are jumping for. Art film, you have to give subsidy. You have to give some tax-free kind of thing. Then only people go to the art film. At that time, we had student, and we did not have much money in our pockets. And we always go for the art films because they are very cheap. And I think Dr. Ajay Kummar Pandey also remembers those young days of ours when we were going to the cinema halls with very small money in our pocket. And then we saw these art films are going on. So commercial films, they are for money. They are creating money. And when Jawan was released, then people are thinking that crores, how many crores it made the box office the first night? That is the kind of question. If it does not do, then the film is flop. But a book is not like that. A poem is not like that. That a poem is not read by many people, even many poets who got immense popularity, like Tolstoy, did not get Nobel Prize. So there are stories. We'll be unfolding it later. I'm giving chance to other people, speakers here, guest speakers here, honorable speakers here. They also share their opinion. I just begin with this question: why this commercialization occurs in literature? It was not there. It is there. It won't be there. We hope of that green day, of that good days.
Here, Dr. Ajay sir, thank you so much, Dr. Ratan sir, for your valuable words. And here, a question is a bit different to Ajay sir. Sir, if you can hear me. Here today, yes, writers are doing their job. Writers are getting paid for their efforts. But today, scenario is a bit different. To get published in the newspaper, to get your columns published in the newspaper, the writer has to pay to the media to get published. There are certain agencies who are, taking money from so-called writers, and they're publishing whatever you are writing. For example, the people who have the seniors who have money, they can do it because they are doing it for their popularity, for their business purpose and all. But what about very good young poets, budding writers, budding authors, but they have no money in their pocket? How will they reach the newspapers? How will their voice or their art reach the audience or the public? Dr. Ajay sir.
First of all, thank you, Moushami ji, for this wonderful debate on this very pertinent topic, which is affecting us in all corners of life. I do welcome Dr. Ratan Bhattacharjee and express my gratitude for kind words expressed for me. Sai Prakash ji, Sren Laha, the noted journalist, Shweta Mahendra ji from Geo, and budding poet, or rather the future of India, because Moushami and Prabhakar, they are the new generation, new future of India. Tripathi Prabhakar. Before I answer your question, Moushami, I hope this is not TV debate where I'm interrupted by the anchor or the other.
No, you are free today. It's an open discussion.
So I'm taking this liberty. Let's see, on this Sunday afternoon, when we got a lot of things to do, like in Delhi, enjoying in Press Club lawn a bottle of beer with some biryani, would have been much wonderful. And same applies to Shweta ji in Mumbai and you in Pune. And so a lot of Sunday, rest, afternoon, winter for Delhiwalas. But we are here discussing this topic. And I'm sure 100 of people, or at least 50 people, or 50 plus people must be watching this live discussion. So this also proves the point that India, the world needs something which is not there, which is missing. So there the ray of hope is there, despite all talks of commercialization of art or writings or film or degradation of the quality of the literature. So on this note, I would like to start that the hope is there. Now, coming back straight to your question, I will draw, as you have read out from my bio, and nothing is secret here, that I am involved in, from writing to politics to advocacy to journalism, not many things. So management, and being an MBA student myself and a corporate professional for long, I would try to explain this point, drawing from the practical examples from these words, what is happening, and combining with the latest. Today, there is a news item where Rahul Gandhi is starting a campaign, a leader of, here I'm just referring, no politics here, I'm just referring the hardcore examples, how we can borrow what we call in literature the indisciplinary approach. So that's all for academic. So I will make it very clear, nothing to do with politics. So there is a campaign out by Rahul Gandhi, the president of 130-year-old political party, Indian National Congress, asking people to donate 138 rupees for the cause of the Congress. The critics are out saying that why people will even give 138 rupees to Rahul Gandhi, or the supporters are out. You can see the latest tweet from Ravi's ex-NDTV that look at the level of Congress has come that they have to beg for 138 rupees. But why should people pay him? Because Congress is championing the cause of poor, farmers, laborers, workers, and they are criticizing corporates. And these farmers, laborers are unemployed. There's so much of price rise. And should they spend 140 rupees in buying the this mustard oil, or how they can pay? And he is comparing that. Other hand, BJP coffers are full, and they have built huge mansions and party office, etc., etc. There's another question. Again, Indian Express has carried a report from a Delhi University professor who has been removed recently after the recent spat of interviews in DU. She is the teacher of sociologist, and all 5 ad hoc teachers from that DU college, I think in Prastha Women's College, have been removed, and the principal has come out with the statement that you should know that you were ad hoc teachers and you can't claim to be, it's not your right to be permanent. So, and she is raising a question, why should people study sociology? What Masmi said, and rather we saw that era, and Dr. Ratan can explore and say much on this. Why should one study literature? Drawing from personal example, I was pulled. I think all of us who are here are interested in literature. I think astrologically speaking, then maybe Chandrama in their 5th house, or practically speaking, to somewhere more right cells active, or psychologically speaking. Out of whole lot, why you are interested in literature? Writing, reading, why should? Even reading literature doesn't help me in earning money. If I read a book of management, what Dr. Ratan referred, that book, Money of Psychology, probably that has more utility value in me as a professional than reading Ghalib or Tagore, Gitanjali, or maybe Premchandra book, or maybe George Bernard Shaw, which he was mentioning, Arms and the Man, or the George Orwell Animal Farm. Why should I? So this question is not only for writers, this question is also for me as a reader. So I tell you my personal experience. I was drawn to literature right from a very young age. And I was writing, and those clappings and those small money Mosmi destroys you. It's like that first bite of drug. Huh? This is also a kind of Doctor is laughing and probably finding something similar in his life.
It's okay.
Like a drug, huh? The first dose of drug.
Yeah.
So that small money or that small byline in the newspaper or that small clapping, and you are drawn to that world of, I will still say that exploring world and phenomenal world of the literature and poetry and drama, etc., etc. So when I was doing this in class 5th, the life of Premchandra was in front of me. Premchand, today he is regarded as a big author, celebrated and whatnot, but he died in abject poverty. And I had privilege of being taught by Dr. Alok Rai, who was his grandson in Allahabad University in my department of English literature. I belong to a department of English literature who boasts to have Firaq Gorakhpuri, professor like Dr. Alok Rai. So I have seen this world of literature from very, very, very nearby. So the question was, I was aware of this. I wanted to get into literature, but I knew what the future holds for me. So I thought of drawing a practical solution to this. So I felt that if I take English and Hindi as a subject in my graduation and qualify, I'll clear my BA exam, then probably I will get a job as a Hindi officer in some public sector undertaking, some government of India concern, whereby I can survive, take care of my daily needs, and at the same time serve the cause of literature. That was the original intent. I took Hindi literature, English literature, and political science. I was again drawn to politics from the academic point of view. So these 3 subjects was of my choice. You will be surprised. Very first day I was called by my professor of Hindi after the class. I was astonished. I was not even a college student. I was straight away a university student because Allahabad is a university. We don't have this college, huh? St. Stephen's and Ramdas like Delhi. It was a straight away university. So I said, nobody knows me here. And I came to university, and this is not a school or college where you are pulled up by teachers and you are called. So I said, and very first day is my first class. Why I am called? What wrong I have done? So I went to staff room and she made me sit and said that, what's your name and what's your things and that. And after that, she came straight away to the point. Said, why you are having 2 literature? I said, ma'am, I qualify. My ranking is there. I got so much number. I applied for it. I got, no. I'm not raising objection to that. But I want to understand. I said, ma'am, it's very simple. I'm inspired by literature. I want to continue my journey in this world. I know, but I won't be paid. So as a practical solution to this, I have taken 2 because that's the minimum qualification to be a Hindi officer in any of the PSU. I studied that much those days. You imagine class 11, 12 pass guy trying to connect so real to the world of earning and finding a fine-tuned balance between the world of learning and the world of earning. So I researched so much. So said Hindi officers, they ask for 2 qualification or either an MA in one or BA. So I'm not interested in going for MA. I have family pressures and I want to earn as soon as I can. And that's how, being a graduate with 2 literature, I can land up easily the job of a Hindi officer or a public relation officer in one of these banks or Bhasa Adhikari or Hindi Adhikari, what you call in PSU, and would have decent earning and Saturday, Sunday off too, and so many holidays and job security, and I can serve the cause of the literature. So she said, that's fine. But in final year, you will have 17 books to read in Hindi literature and 17 to 18 books in English literature, of poetry, of drama, of criticism, of essays, and whatnot. So 40 books, and you will not be even able to get 60% marks. Passing marks itself would be, passing these 2 subjects itself would be a challenge. So for many competition, you would be out. So take at least a scoring subject. I said, what is that scoring subject? He said, take history. Even political science is not scoring. Sociology is not scoring. So you have to be realistic at the same time. I felt very bad, but then it was a practical advice. So I'm giving you here today also to the student and the lover of literature by drawing from my personal experience. So she said, then I love Hindi. So I love English and I want to learn English. I love Hindi. I know Hindi, but I want to learn English. So which should I drop? She said, drop Hindi. Now see, the plight, the pain in it. You are in Allahabad University, historically known for Hindi laureates, a tradition of, or rather you can say the temple of Hindi literature. As far as the India is concerned, you name a Hindi author, Mahadevi, Harivansh Rai Bachchan, name, you name. They all belong to Allahabad. Before independence, Delhi becoming the capital, the literary capital of India was Allahabad. You name Hindi literary magazine, I think the only competition it was given was by Calcutta. Because the first Hindi newspaper started from Calcutta, Uttan Martin. Though started by, again, people from Allahabad, but from Calcutta. So Allahabad was the big seat, and there, I'm not talking of today. I graduated 87, 88. So I'm talking of that time. You being told by in the temple of the Hindi literature and again the Allahabad University Hindi department, which always has illustrious professor of Hindi, told to drop Hindi. So you imagine, if you can pitch in, join me in that stage and think, and if I'm able to take you over there. This is the hard fact. And going by her advice, I dropped Hindi. And she said, you continue with English because English is not our own language, so you are not going to read it anyway. So, but being forced and being compelled, you will learn English and you will study English. And Hindi, anyhow, is your mother tongue. You can learn Hindi. So that's the one part. Now, coming to getting media attention and how to draw to the media, I will share one more example. Recently, I will refer to a very conference here in Delhi by Aaj Tak, India Today Group, where Prime Minister Modi himself was there, and the owner or the proprietor of India Today Group, Mr. Arun Puri, was there. It was a very interesting conversation going on the stage. I think someone would have seen it on the social media. So Arun Puri is addressing the gathering and Prime Minister is sitting and he says, sir, it is very tough time for we journalists and we media house to survive. And in a way, sir, if I am allowed and pardoned, it's all happening because of you and your government. So Modi ji is looking the other side. He is still not paying attention to what Puri Sahab is saying. So he said the problem is that no news breaks, no news. Forget about we don't know whom you are going to make the chief minister. This is just happening before the election results of these three states, where till last nobody could guess who is going to be the chief minister. So he said, sir, these days those news breaks and those sensing out anything or fishing out from government or government ministry is very tough. And as a result, we have no content. What to show? So he then says, Modi ji, ki, sir, so media is dying and we are finished. And so, but I understand, sir, what is going to be your reply? Modi ji, aap bolenge ki Puri Sahab, हम मीडिया की दुकान या आपकी दुकान क्यों चलाएं? हम थोड़े रिस्पॉन्सिबल हैं आपकी दुकान चलाने के लिए न्यूज ब्रेक्स देके. That was a different era where journalist has inroads, Saran Lahaji, to the chief minister office, and we used to get scoops and news breaks and exclusive. Now those era is gone. So now even as a reader or as a television watcher, why should I watch news? So मोदी जी या पॉलिटिशियंस आपकी दुकान क्यों चलाएं? द सेम क्वेश्चन, रीडर्स हमारी दुकान क्यों चलाएं? मीडिया हमारी दुकान क्यों चलाएं? ये एक सवाल है. Now come to the same aspect. See, so it is Congress party in politics facing fund crisis. If we talk of life, the quality of relationship, you go, everybody is complaining. अब वो हस्बैंड वाइफ में वो प्यार नहीं रहा, वो चाय पीने वाला. अब कॉफी डेट पे जाते हैं. अब चाय नहीं, हमारे सर के टाइम में चाय वाली दोस्ती होती थी, अब कॉफी वाली दोस्ती है.
कॉफी विद करण होता है.
हाँ, तो कॉफी विद करण होता है. तो you talk any sphere of the life, this is a talk. Media itself is struggling. No advertisement, no content. And this debate of paid journalism or yellow journalism is a very old debate. Maybe in the second round, I would dwell upon that. But then, Masmi ji, I want you to hit the hard ground of reality. There is one ground of romanticism and the one ground of real ground. There is one real life and one there is real life. So in real life, animal does 100 crores plus business. Critics said it is a bad movie. So in life, I have seen good boy always finishing second, the bad boy winning. In politics also it happens. In literature also it happens. In writing it happens. See, the successful lover who ends up marrying her beloved ends up carrying vegetables in the end in the 5 p.m. in the evening and chai and school to bachas and admissions and frowning and questioning by the wife, the successful lover. And the unsuccessful one drives down to Ladakh on a motorbike, have the best single malt and write poetries and novels and give talk. So you decide, you want to be a successful lover, then you have to bring vegetables in the evening. If you want to be unsuccessful lover, then probably you would be, I won't say you will be writing or getting a Nobel Prize. So look at Khuswansi. So the solution, I'm naming this author, Khuswansi, is a commercially acclaimed author, is a commercially acclaimed columnist, and is also known for his book, The Train. So finding that fine balance between the world of creation and the world of the commerce is the right answer. This debate, what you are raising, is nothing new. I believe Francis Bacon, a very famous philosopher and a writer and an advocate by profession, writing in 1561, why he coined two terms, that the value of the literature is twofold. One is the utility value of the literature, and one is the ornamental value of the literature. I don't know it happens or not, but in my time, especially in my state, Bihar and UP, girls were encouraged to pass 10 class exams, maximum 10. They're not even allowed to go for 11th and 12th to find a good boy. Because those days the boy started demanding an educated girl. So the proof of education was, yeah, my daughter is 10th pass. So they were not concerned with the percentage of mark or what skills or what knowledge she is gaining. They were interested in showing the boy's family, yes, look, here is a girl who is 10th pass. So that is the ornamental value of the education. So if you talk to them, what it has got to do with your skills, knowledge, and the ability to crack an exam, they were not bothered. So this question is nothing new in literature. What I see, if I remember another era, I think that was the golden era of the literature, 1910, where the society, I think Professor Ratan will agree with me, 1910, the critics gave the same importance to the impact of literature on the society what was once the taming of fire the importance of taming the fire to the advent of the civilization. But 80 years down the line, 1901 to say 30 years down the line, 1920s and 30, the question of, today I'm thankful to Mosmis, he has just said degradation, not dying of the literature. But then there are enough writings where not degrading, people said literature has died, literature is finished. So you have not said it is dying or it has finished or extinguished. You are just questioning the degradation. So the point is why readers should buy your book. The point is why media should publish your stories and books, and why they should ask for money, why they should not ask for money, what you should do. But then tell me one thing. I think you must all have heard about this book, The Inheritance of Loss by Kiran Desai, 2006. It was a much acclaimed book from the critic's point of view, from all kind of review. It even won this very famous Man Broker's Prize. It was also the winner of National Book Critics Circle Award. But what was the Amazon review? What was the Amazon report? 0. Down. So what I'm trying to say, what Dada has referred here, chalbo to commercial movie, na chalbo to art movie. So boss, the point is that a acclaimed book in the literary circle won't be a sure shot guarantee to be Amazon success. And an Amazon success necessarily not need to be a book acclaimed by the critics. And the fate of critics, the movie Animal has completely exposed them. That where the critics stands and where they should stand is in front of you. I remember I end one with last example. There was a very famous book bestseller. So all the media was very interested in that. One night, single night. And you know, the other problem, this era we are, this is the era of instant gratification. We want everything quick. Ask Mosmi or ask anybody here on the panel, how many sleepless nights we would have gone to get our first article published? First checks to arrive. What kind of pain, what kind of a struggle? Today, the author wants first poem to be published. First book written, rushing to some publication. Accepted, okay, not accepted. Tell me, ma'am, how much I need to give and out. And then they want it to become the bestseller. Nothing wrong. I appreciate, because I know this era is inspired by Bill Gates, who said business at the speed of thought. So be decisive. See, you can't take one and leave one. It's a package deal. If you have to take geo connection, madam, it has to be a package deal. You can't say, I will take this part of geo and leave that part of Ambani.
I just want to interrupt, regarding the geo package. I went to IIT Roorkee for one talk show. So few students came after my talk. They told, why don't you do one thing when you go to geo? Tell them they should, end the package deal. And they should give us the weekly quota. Like earlier, because Geo has erased the weekly plan, 7 days and 8 days. I said, who takes the weekly plan? Well, no, ma'am, you don't know. We need the weekly plan. So, but the जो अंबानी बेचेगा वो बिकेगा. उन्होंने तो सबका बंद कर दिया, but they don't know user because it is one way. They have to earn money. I said, why they will wait every week that you will recharge? They are getting lump sum prepaid money, billions of money. And why they will do it? And it is driven by the, commercial, and it's all corporate. The media is also not driven by corporate group. So that's why there is money in everything.
So one question here to everybody sitting here. Let me tell you one thing. For example, X X is someone who needs quick fame, and Y is someone who needs quick fame, but he is or she is purely a literature person and has a good, you can say, taste of literature, writing skills are very good, worth reading. But the other person has no taste of literature, but there is nothing in that article or there is nothing in the poem. Just because he can pay, he has the ability to pay, he can get his poetry or he can get his article published. Whereas there are certain articles which people need to know, informative articles. Sometimes I also remember, not somebody sitting like, you have written a very wonderful, article related to technology. People should know. But that is not accepted by any newspaper. Why? Because we said no to payment. We said, no, we'll not pay to the newspaper. This piece of information should go to the readers. If you find this, article worth, that is worth, because the young generation should know what is happening. But no, it is all about money, because in between there are agencies, PR agencies. There are people who say, you pay this much, then we will get whatever you write, we will get published in the newspapers. So what do you have to say? Like, Shreyan, you are sitting here, you are a science fiction writer. You have also you have been awarded, but you see also there are young writers writing well. You also know how many people have really bought your book. Is a bestseller in our publishing house. I know every day I am packing your book and sending to the readers, but there are no reports in the newspaper unless and until a few took the initiative to write about your book.
Yeah, so I'd like to talk about one thing basically, and that is the others have said, the utility of the book. All right, what is the utility of a story? So let me tell that utility of a fiction, it shapes civilizations. For example, in ancient Iran or ancient India, Greek or Mesopotamian, Egyptian civilizations, the first stories were discovered from these places, and then these civilizations ushered. Fast forward to 500 to 800 AD, we see the Arabian Nights and the expansion of Islamic empires, and then came the West, that is the European. So it's a stories shape civilizations. Its utility is far beyond we can ever imagine. And coming to the uh, literary aspects, why just about any book gets published these days, and they just splash money and you can get it printed across all the medias, and have photos with certain celebrities and get their endorsement and such. We have to move on with this, all right, because at the end of the day, see uh, let's see this thing. Me as an author, I have never published with any big publication firm. I mean, not with any Penguin or Hatchets. My top, I earlier published with Bigfoot publications, and that time they were new. I was the first, one of the first books of that Bigfoot publications. My books were. So this is the thing, and gradually as Bigfoot grew, my book started selling, Bigfoot also grew. So we have to work together in synthesis, publishers and authors. They are not either or, because we are in this entire literary community, we are in it together. There needs to be more collaborative efforts. All right, because if publishers won't grow, authors won't grow either. Simple thing. And secondly, one more thing I would like to say is that in India, authors weren't famous authors. They weren't technically poor. There is a common misconception that Premchand died poor, like Dr. Ajay just said. But he had 1800 he received 1800 rupees in 1936 in his account as a royalty. Imagine 1800 in 1936, which makes him clearly middle class and not poor. And he had an account in Banaras Bank, which in a time when financial inclusion was zero. Are you hearing me? Hello?
Yes, go ahead, go ahead.
So this is the thing. So another thing I want to point out is relatability and yeah, inspirational uh, relatability and inspirational aspects. For example, like Dr. Ratanji said earlier about films made for the masses and films made for the classes. Okay, like the Jawan film. So there needs to be a fine line drawn between the two. And this is one of the prime reason why I write science fiction, because enough stories in India have been written about poverty, misery, and all these aspects of fatalism and such. So I need to show the aspirational aspect, and at the same time it shouldn't be so much ahead that it lacks a ground reality. So I infuse some of the aspects of ground reality. For example, in my last book, Virtually Lost, I talked about the digital proliferation, about how our data is being misused by the big tech companies through a storyline format. So that needs to be there. And unfortunately, in today's world, we see that people are going more for the relatable aspects, more so the other, you know, publishers, so as to say, you may call other self publishers. They go for that. And another thing I want to point out is that the reduction in attention span. You give a person a book which can be heard in 3 hours in Audible. He will listen to the Audible, he will listen to the podcast, but he won't, open the book and read. So that's another aspect. So we are also seeing the rise in audiobook formats, and this technological aspect is not being looked at by many people, and it also raises questions about the, about how audio audio platforms would be encouraged in future, and books are gradually depleting into these insta poetry. A lot of insta poets are coming out these days. So these are the points that I want to speak about. Like I having doing a recap of all the points. First, the difference between relatability and inspiration. Second, the upcoming of audiobooks. Third, that authors need incentive. And in India, I mean, in rest of the world, for example, John Keats died. I guess it's John Keats. He died at 23, and in a very, in a shambolic manner. There was no one there to take care of him. This is not the case in India, where authors were literate. The first thing you need to do to write a book is be literate in that field. So the authors were literate, well endowed, and they got a certain monetary backing. And this is not the now this was the case historically in India, but right now, as we see, uh, all of us can sponsor our books. All of us can promote our books. So the market is like that. So we need to make a fine fine line, balance the bridges, and move on with this reality. That's all I wanted to say.
Sai Prakash sir is here. Let me tell you, when recently I have published a poetry book by Sai Prakash, Simply Zenit. It is available on Amazon. During that period of time, I received 2 queries. One by Sai Prakash sir, and one book by, I won't name, by someone, poetry. But I had to reject one book because I couldn't find poetry. I am no one to judge, but whatever you write should make sense. And I was literally threatened by someone and said, what if you will not publish the book? Don't publish. I said, I want good literature. I
Absolutely.
my aim is to publish good books. Even if you pay me, I would publish your books, because I don't find anything. You cannot just write, I am going, I am sleeping. That poetry should have emotions. If I don't find,
Very true.
and if your language is not correct, there are no punctuation errors, there are grammatical errors, and you're not ready to get your book edited too. Editing also is very important. If you're not ready to get your book edited to, how can I publish? Because that book would be read by the younger generations. I have to give something good to the people who are literature lovers, who want to learn language and literature. So Sai Prakash, nowadays we have got so many Facebook and Insta poets. Everybody has started terming themselves as an author, as a poet, as a published, and you find so many groups on Facebook. They are giving awards, they are giving this, that, and they have become Facebook celebrity poets and authors. All right, but they would never publish their books, because in between they will write one or two poetry. So what do you have to say, Sai Prakash? It's a very short, we'll go back to again.
Yeah. Thank you, Mosmi, for the invitation. You made me part of wonderful stalwarts who are, in fact, the beacons of light in publishing and whereas media industry. Let me tell you, Mosmi, hadn't I met you through some other means, having written more than 4,000 poems myself, I was wondering until somebody asked me. There were a few interviewees who asked me time and again, Sai Prakash, as you have written more than 4,500 poems, so have you published any of the books? This is the constant question I used to face. The last straw was when Ellen Johnson from UK was interacting with me. He asked me again, is it so expensive in India to get a book published? Then I said, yes, Ellen, it's very costly affair. But until unless I came across you, when I sent my manuscript and you were ready, saying that, Sai sir, you can go ahead, you wrote well. Again, I tell you, this the title itself, Simply Janet, as the other panelists were telling me, if you can read these poems, it is out of passion that most of the poems that I have published here in Simply Janet have the title, My Dear Son. It is not for publication that I wrote. It's not for money that I wrote. I was advising my elder son as well as my younger son, the various experiences I have gone through, various people that I have interacted with. I wanted to introduce to them. See, the main aim is not to get money out of it. It is out of an instantaneous reaction when my elder son was complaining something about somebody, or something about caste system, or a friend who ditched him in the middle. I was advising him through poetry, my dear son, the clouds will pass away. So this is how I have written more than 4,500 poems. Whenever I see a bird, I never thought that my poem will be bought by somebody or published somewhere. And having some exposure in the media circle also, let me tell you, mostly the hard hitting fact. Down south, I don't know about the national media, but down south, I knew many friends who are termed as journalists. They have to earn their salary. They have to earn their salary. The media houses won't be paying them. So what they do is they arrange stingers. They ask people how I could blackmail somebody to earn my money to write an article. This is how it is going. It's a hard fact that I know, and I'm in fact a witness to it. Many people coming to me having a journalist badge and saying, "Sir, can you give us some information regarding the BPL rice being diverted or something?" So this is the situation regarding news and news agencies. And coming to my own personal experiences, until unless I met you, Mosami, You were very kind. You were very cooperative. I know how much hard work we have to make. When I send my WhatsApp mode poems, getting them into other means and having. I have the wonderful book that you have recently published. I received it yesterday. A wonderful book. See, the other thing is, Mosmi, to give somebody a confidence that yes, your writings are worthy of publishing. Leave alone the money. Yes, to have some of your poems or your writings to be eternal, you have to be you have to bring them in print form, no doubt. But the main aim is not getting money. Maybe down the line, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, somebody will recognize me that Sai Prakash is a published author. Then his poems or books are worth reading. First passion, then a little bit of investment, and the other thing is never go for. People are very much aware when I advertise a particular prestigious or what you call a promoted award. People are aware of it because social media is so active. Then they say that how much money did you pay to get that particular award? See, I refused many whenever they come to me that sir, you pay 5,500 rupees to be the Indian icon. I said, no way. I will earn myself. I don't spend money to get such recognition because I had very good recognitions coming my way during my school days as well as while I was in Rotary. I was a panelist, international panelist in International Convention Singapore. So it's an epitome that I have already reached. So now I need not buy any of the certificates or iconic awards which come on a platter for the money that I dole. This is my opinion. And the other thing I would like to add, most of me, those days were gone when publishers used to come to your place, buying some manuscript from you from some monies, and then they used to publish. Now, as you said and rightly pointed out the topic, yes, there are very many publishers I know who are not up to grade. They offer at the least price, and I know a few publishers whom I have sent my early manuscript, switching off their phones, closing their bank accounts even. But thank you very much for the all help that you have extended me, and now I am a published author, whether I can sell or not. And let me inform you that I have already sold 100 books within a short span of maybe 2 weeks.
2 weeks. Heartiest congratulations, sir. We'll come to Ratan sir and Dr. Ajay sir again because I have to know so many things from these two eminent personalities because many are watching today on Facebook. Before that, before that, Shweta Mahendra ma'am is there. Ma'am, you are a published author. Like you have published a book in English, you have published a book in Hindi, and you have you write columns, and you have been writing also somewhere.
Hear you.
Okay.
Yeah, we
Okay.
can. Yeah.
What is your experience? Do you have you ever faced like sometimes having even written very good, like you find that it is very difficult to find space in the newspapers or even media portals?
Yeah, because I'm new to this literature world, so I don't know how it functions. I know the technology, I know the business, and when I entered into this, I was thinking that everything will be very process oriented, quality oriented. Like when I was reading few articles in Hindu and all, I was always told you read the Hindu for being IAS and all. So I always kept that level very high in my mind. But when I entered it, everybody is asking money. I have at least 4 articles which are I am telling different topics, and I cannot decide what I am writing. Like I cannot decide I have to write on technology, I write on any topic. It depends totally on my mood, because literature is sold for the food. It's not for the food actually, for the physical food. So for me, literature, I don't know what is literature. I'm a technical person. I write what I feel, and Mosmi says yes. It's you can publish it. So Mosmi is my qualifier for that. And so I find it is very corrupt. And it will be like that only, because the world is like that. Everything is TRP, everything is number of followers, everything. Like sir has said that there are no advertisement on the television. There are advertisement. There are advertisement of Delhi government. There was advertisement of MP government. So everything is, happening at very high level where a lot of money is involved. So even a small player can't survive in any industry right now, whether it is a telecom industry or a literature industry. And the best way to do it, you have to change. It has to be, even if money is involved, let's open the prices. You keep the tag that if I have to publish my article in Times of India, I have to pay 5,000. I will pay it. Keep the fee. Like we have an entrance fee in colleges. We have in MIT, in Stanford, there are two classes. One is you enter via your talent. Otherwise, you will enter if your parents are, from that college and you have a lot of money, you can enter into it. So there also, there is no quality. So I have my friend who she told me the scene is really bad at that these big names. So that is always there. So it has to be channelized. It has to be professionally maintained from the media houses. You take money, okay, then take it openly. I'm ready to pay. And then you can say, okay, if it is qualified, then only we will publish. I'm satisfied with it. I'm okay with it. And regarding the new authors, like sir has said, when he has qualified the 10th, 12th exams, and then he opted for literature. There's no money in it. I don't expect any money from it because I am already settled. But I could never imagine to opt for this career as my professional career because I can't survive them. So the new people, like at the age of 20, who want to opt for literature, they will die. That's why you see, I don't have any poem. Like when I see the school books of NCERT or anything, all the poems are those which I read 30 years ago. So in 30 years, there was no progress in the literature which can take place in our course book, where it died actually. Our brain and intelligence level is increasing. It is not fading actually. We are trying to reach to a level, but I'm not seeing that to see the light because of money. It has to be channelized. It has to be formalized. Even if it is money, it's okay. And regarding the Premchand and all, I don't know much about these writers and all, but I know about the Greek people like Socrates, Plato, and Aristotle because I read a lot about them. Those were rich people. Those were aristocrats, right? When we talk about philosophy, we talk about literature. I always see that only when you have physical your needs of house, food fulfilled, then you can do better, you can deliver better, because then you don't look for the money. I can't decide a topic right now that if I will write on this topic, I will get money. No, for me, now I have crossed that stage. But when you are at a struggling phase, you have to write. I have to write on this topic because this is the famous, like animal review, everybody will write because it is a hot topic. Nobody will write about Gajawar because it's a controversial topic. Nobody want to touch that subject. So I'm not seeing anything. Why we can't speak? We can speak. Like I tell you that I have different view about this war. I am analyzing the whole war. I can write a whole book on this war. So, everything is, everybody is selfish. That's it. It has to be formalized. Even if it is money, put the price, put the tag. I'm okay.
Dr. Ratan sir, one thing, like,
I have one little thing to say.
Yes, Shreyan. Because
Yeah,
Ajay sir and
a little
Bhattacharjee
point
sir
before
too.
that you
Yeah.
can proceed.
Yeah.
So I'm telling that not everyone is in this literary field to actually contribute to literature. You see, for example, these award ceremonies which come up, like Sai Prakash ji said, they ask for money. Now you look into the fact that who are organizing these things, who are they, and you will find out 99% of the times they are kids, kids from colleges, or from they have just passed their school. Now they will be employed in the future, and in future no employer wants a blank CV. All right. So what they would do, they would organize such a festival the literary festival, they will call in some budding authors, and then budding authors would feel great. They would feel like celebrities over there. They would put their opinions forward. They would receive the cash prize, or these not cash prize but trophies in exchange for the cash prize that they are giving. So these children and mostly young adults are there. They just want to have a point written in their CV. They are not in for the literature purpose.
Yes, yes.
So that's one thing that I wanted to say. And like Shwetaji just said, that technology wise, society wise, even philosophy wise, and fashion, in a fashion sense outlook, we are evolving so much that we need to find new formulas to write actually good literature, and we should no longer stick to the same things that the earlier generations did. Like I said, we shouldn't stick to that same old poverty, illness, and so on and so forth. You may continue.
I
So,
will add another point, Mosmi, here. The life of a real poet or another is being threatened by AI, artificial intelligence. Having been part of more than 10 to 15 groups on Facebook as a moderator and administrator, I'm horrified to see many people using artificial intelligence, the chat box or something, and publishing their works as their own.
so
You know,
this we'll have a good discussion on AI.
yeah.
Because Ajay sir is there. I heard him speaking. I follow him on LinkedIn, and Ratan sir, I see him speaking on television a lot about such topics. This would be another topic of discussion: AI and literature. Before that, like before we conclude, we need to hear more from Ratan sir and Ajay sir. One question, Dr. Ratan sir. Shweta ma'am has just pointed on one thing. Yes, literature is evolving. Poets, we are reading many good poets. I have read hundreds of poetry by you. You are you are known as a romanticism poetry, you write romantic poetry. Even Ajay sir, I have read you both Hindi and English. So, and Sai Prakash, we have read your, I have personally, I'm a literature student. I did my master's in English literature, later mass comm journalism and psychology. But basically, I'm a literature student. And when I read poetry, I sometimes feel, why not this poem is in some course book? This is why we are reading the same poets again and again, sir. Why can't we include good poetry, the recent, evolving poetry or poets in the books?
Can I answer this?
Sir, this is to Dr. Ratan, sir.
Yeah, yeah.
Sir, you are on mute.
So many questions and so many discussions have come here. We probably gone away from the main topic that was started. And I think the question that you now posed is almost touching all the points that Dr. Ajay sir and Shreyan Laha and Sai Prakash ji raised. So I'll be touching all the things to answer your question, this last question. First of all, the purpose of literature and the dying of literature, quick recognition, and the inspiration part. C.S. Lewis said, literature adds to reality. It does not simply describe it. It enriches the necessary competencies that daily life requires and provides. And in this respect, it irrigates the deserts that our lives have already become. So I think here literature is anticipating life. So whenever we are going to ask this question, whether the poets are taking, giving money for the publication, or they need inspiration from the award givers, or from the publishing houses who charges money for publishing their books. One thing you must remember, that Cicero, on his deathbed of the Roman Republic, he told, the times are bad. Times are bad. Children no longer obey their parents, and everyone is writing a book. That is the malady of the society. As civilization advances, poetry almost necessarily declines. That is not true. Macaulay was thinking that poetry may die, literature may die with the advancement of civilization. Now, another problem occurs. Poetry did not die. Everyone is writing a book. That is true. And everyone is trying to get money from the book. But there is no money in poetry. And there is no poetry in money either, as Robert Graves said. Money is a kind of poetry. Money is a kind of poetry that Wallace Stevens told. But that money is not real money. That money is not rupee, dollars. That money is our value. The value that you attach to your book. You know, Shakespeare was a very good businessman. Shakespeare, he was using the business terms more than many businessmen. Today, what you are using, the business words, were all given, most of them given by Shakespeare. And it is said that Shakespeare is the most successful businessman in literature. Shakespeare was a nobody. When he came to London, he was nobody. There was Bacon was there. There was Marlowe was there. Marlowe was nobody. There was Spencer was there. They were rich people. But Shakespeare was not that. So it is not that if you are a poor person, your talent will not be flourished. And if you're a rich person, your talent will be flourished. It is not like that. First of all, the question is, who are the writers? Not all who write. Some who write are poets or writers. Today, you see, there is a proliferation of books, proliferation of posts. In 2009, when I joined Facebook, that time, many people just got the Facebook and they were writing something for posting the family events, some ceremony pictures, some nature pictures on Facebook. Then I and a few people, they started writing poem, posting poem with some picture. Then started writing, people were posting poems and poems and poems. Now, why? First of all, quick, as Dr. Ajay Pandey sir told, that quick things, fast things, they are coming. When you send a poem to Anandabazar publication, for example, they will not publish the poem within 1 month or 2 months or 3 months. After 6 months, they will tell your poem is selected and we are going to send you again for editing. Again, another 6 months gone. So if you write some poem on Ukraine war, then you'll find that Ukraine war stopped and your poem is not yet published. So that kind of thing happened from the big publication houses. And it is not that you give money and Times of India will publish all your articles. That is not true. If you give money to Anandabazar publication and Anandabazar publication will publish all your articles, it is not true. This is a false idea, fake idea. I am telling you, there are some groups of people who are coming to write this. And I have divided today, after I heard about the topic today, so I divided some groups of fake people. These are called fake poetry people, fake poets and fake writers. Giving the term of the present term of the AI, I am making the division like this: deep fake people, deeply fake poets, clear fake poets, and shallow fake poets. Now, deep fake poets, who are the deep fake poets? Those who never write poems and open groups on Facebook or other social media. You know, they are called deep fake poets. They are actually never poets. They are never writing anything. They are only opening groups and communicating with the poets who are writing, and they are trying to impress that they are very much a literature lover. Now, what they are doing? Deeply fake people. Those who give so-called certificates and award to their chosen group people, and whom they are giving the awards, whom they are giving the certificates, those who flatter and shower encomium on them shamelessly. They are getting those kind of things. Many group administrators will be angry with me for this, but this is a fact. Those administrators, what are doing, they're keeping groups, thousands of groups nowadays in Facebook. And what is the effect? I'm telling you, He'll be surprised what is happening. And Dr. Ajay ji will be aware of this kind of thing, and maybe he can pursue some cases in his Supreme Court for this kind of fake things going on the social media in the name of literature. What is happening? They themselves arrange some of the competitions, and they give the prizes, and the prizes are fixed. That on this person, the first prize will go. Nobody reads any line from their poem. They're always writing awesome, amazing, and all these phrases, and likes and comments come if you are popular with the groups. Then only you'll get, not for your poem. I have seen another tendency. There are some selfish posted along with the poem. People are praising the selfish, not the poems. They are telling very beautiful, very amazing, and all this. Mistakenly, if you write awful, then that is the right adjective, I think, that will be done. So not awesome, not awesome, not amazing, but only awful. Awful thing, business is going on by the deeply fake poets. And they never saw any of their line published in any magazine, any journal, any newspaper. They are only Facebook poets. They are only this Instagram people, and they are all doing their only. Then there are the clear fake people. What are the clear fake? Those who are in good position. Suppose one Sahitya Academy president he was or he had been. There is a kind of communication with those people and these group administrators. And they make a kind of organization and manage scrupulous people posing as mentor or chief of some of the poetic groups. And they give 300 Sahitya Academy awards like this, 300 other awards like this to people. Take benefits for giving award and certificates. So-called poets and who cannot be, there are many good poets in the group, but those good poets will be lost in the crowd because they are trying to bring into their fold all those shallow fake poets who are not at all deserving any prize. But they are...
So again, sir, coming back to the question again.
I have one thing to say.
Coming back to the topic again. Yes, getting published in the poetry books. Again, business involved in literature. Is it degrading or is it bringing down the value of literature?
Money, there is always a horrible malady. It infects the writing world. For more people pretend to be writers than actually they write. This is not hyperbole. It has been estimated about 90% of the books published are not books at all. So what is happening? They are only done for business because they are not having any literary quality. They are only promoting. If you publish a book from USA, I'm just giving you one example. If you publish one book from USA, then they will give you some offer. First thing is that your book will be displayed in all the restaurants and even in the New York Times. Even your book will be displayed in the Times Square, where is a very important place. Your book will be displayed there, and you have to give thousands of dollars. It is not possible for all the people. But if your book is displayed there, it will be sold. So ultimately, it will make big business. So you have to invest money for the publication, advertising, the point somebody raised here. So advertising is very important part for a book publisher. So business is all obviously there. Means nothing succeeds like success. Remember this word. Nothing succeeds like success. If you are successful in advertising your book, promoting your book, as just now somebody told that everything is advertised today. If you advertise your poem, it can be reaching many people. And when there are many people to analyze it also, criticize it also, write beautiful criticism on that particular poem. So you can make something out of nothing and nothing out of something. That can be done.
Shreyan, let's make it short. You convey your point, and we go to Dr. Ajay. So everybody is running short of time. Sunday,
So, like I said, I want to say that today we are living in an age of content creation. All right. So there are many content creators who write all these 2-3 lines of poems, extremely short stories within 100-300 words, and then they receive validation from their from people who follow these hashtags of poetries and stories. Gradually, their pages grow and uh, they achieve fame. And fame, it's a very powerful tool for young people, because young people are not just guided by money, they are guided by fame also. So gradually they believe that they can be poets, they can be authors, and when they publish their books, initially it's successful. 2 3 books, they achieve success, but gradually people see through it. People will realize the intellectual vacuousness in the long run, and that is why I'm saying that we are seeing a amalgamation of content creation and uh, writing writing poetry, writing stories. So the line is getting thinner. That's what I wanted to say.
That's what Dr. Ratan sir said today. Becoming quick fame through pages.
I am enriching just one line. You see, in the 16th century, all of England wrote sonnets, love sonnets, romantic sonnets. Today, we remember only 5 writers of sonneteers, and Shakespeare's sonnets outdid the test of time. 400 years after, you are reading some poems of Shakespeare. So that is, he's not a poet, he's a dramatist basically. But his poems are read after 400 years. But many poets wrote that time, they are lost. Again, there is a group called metaphysical poets who wrote poems, they were not read in the Elizabethan period. But when T.S. Eliot in the 20th century explained that Donne's poetry has a modern element, then Donne was revived. And today, Donne is more popular than Shakespeare. So you see, this is the kind of thing that is happening. And in another talk, I was telling you that when that book, very important book written by Rossetti, that is, I'm forgetting, Fitzgerald's book, Rubaiyat Omar Khayyam. Omar Khayyam was translated by Fitzgerald, and it was written, it was not read by even his friends and anybody, as you told me, that our friends are helping. So when Fitzgerald was meeting any friend, then the friend was escaping the other route, because he will be now giving the book that I published a book, you take a copy of the book. So not to take the copy of the book, the friend was escaping from him, and he was friendless for 5 years. After that, Rossetti wrote an introduction on Rubaiyat's Omar Khayyam. Then people understood that it is the epitome of the Victorian age. So Victorian age means Rubaiyat's Omar Khayyam. Then only the book was sold like hotcakes, and 5 editions were published in 1 year. So this is the kind of thing that's happening. So you cannot say that any book is sold, that is not a good book. Any book is not sold, that is a bad book. It is not like that. Jawan is almost making milestone. Jawan is a very good film, and your Satyajit Ray's Pater Pachali is not very much making market. And Satyajit Ray was applying for PWD, Government of West Bengal, for some help to make the film. So that is the kind of thing happening. Pater Pachali is the classic, but not your Jawan.
So thank you so much, sir. That gives encouragement to us as writers. Shweta ma'am is there, Sai Prakash, Rayan, and Deven Tripathi. That gives us the motivation to us. Yes, if your book is not selling, that doesn't mean your book is not good. You never know when your book
but one request, don't give the publisher to write your book.
Yes, Dr. Ajay, when I hear about John Donne, I always remember Dr. Ajay Kummar Pandey, sir. I do not know why, because he remembers so much, and the way he says, I feel like one day we should have a discussion on John Donne and John Donne's poetry. Yes, Dr. Ajay.
John Donne told Donne, and done, John Donne, and done, and undone. Okay. So the moment the woman enters, then Donne is finished.
So Ajay sir, we should all request Ajay sir and Ratan sir to write about our books. Surely, maybe people will then start reading us. Yes, Ajay sir, making it short, as a whole, we have been discussing about literature, maybe degrading the value of, downfall of the value of literature, or business getting involved in literature. How would you conclude today? What finally you have to advise to the budding author? I can be a budding author also, even after publishing many books, and any person, maybe I'm into a different job and I have started suddenly started the hobby of writing. So how will you motivate the budding authors, young poets today, when they find themselves entangled in the world of money?
Yeah, thank you, Masmi. I will come straight to the word point. And though the overall, if I sum up this discussion, people are happy, people are satisfied, no complaint. Huh? We started at a complaining note, but we are ending at a very positive note, like author Sweta Mahendra says, I'm writing. So, Swanta Sukhaye Parijan Hitaye is one concept of literature, very is old concept that I write for my own pleasure and for the benefit of all. I'm not bothered what it happens. So it's there, age old. But let's give you some data, because I come from very real world. And this discussion, as Ratanji also quoted Umar Khayyam, and he said how the Umar Khayyam from a remote district in UP, ETA, went to Pittsburgh, and the success. So let's go by the latest trend. The revenue in the book market in India is projected to reach $5.8 billion in 2023. $5.8 billion book market. Is it not a huge figure and you don't have a share in it? Even 0.1% is going to make you a rich author. This is going to grow at an annual growth rate of 5.06%, much higher than many AI and technology and fintech you are talking. So very bright future, resulting in total market volume of over 6 billion by 2028. Despite the challenge of social media, AI, people not reading, habit of watching television and, glued to their mobile. We have a huge market to cover by 2028 that is of $7 billion. The number of readers is even growing at a very fast pace and is going to touch 447.1 million readers. So what more you want? If I quote figures from the US market, there it is 132 billion in 2022, growing at a rate of 6%.
They are actually declining.
So you have a bright future. Declining and not declining could be a debate, Lahaji. But then let me, as
no, it's true. It's not a debate. It's actual.
Yeah, this is a figure I'm quoting latest. You may be correct. We can take it one-on-one. But the point here I would like to make, which I was wanted to make in the previous comment. First, why we are writing. We have to very sure. Any business, even when we launch a new product, we have to have our whys very clear. So I was quoting that incident that one very famous author, bestseller of the book. And so it was immediately the media attention, and one journalist was sent to interview that author. So he could be like me or Laji or Mosmi, raising question about comma, full stop, grammar, syntax, punctuation, etc., etc. So this very young journalist who is going to introduce this famous author, best-selling author, prepared whole night, whole set of question, put red lines right from page 1 to page last with a lot of mistakes, and I'm going to grill this. How he needs to be best-selling author. How this can be a best? He doesn't know English. He doesn't have punctuation, no sense, no meaning, nothing. So he goes completely charged, and the interview starts, coffee with the current, and he started lambasting. Question after question, and this bestseller author is smiling, not responding. He is thinking that he is winning this battle of interview, and he's thrashing this author and going to get a lot of TRPs. because he is the one who is exposing this best-selling author. Now comes the last question. He's still smiling. So he says, you are not answering, means you are you are accepting all the allegations. He said, very much. I have nothing to say in my defense except one thing. He said, what is that one thing? He said, my dear friend, all your questions are wrong. So I didn't answer it. He said, why my questions are wrong? Are these mistakes which I'm pointing out here are not right? He said, absolutely right. But my claim to fame is not that I have written the best book. My claim to fame is I'm the best-selling author, and the discussion ends there. I never claimed. So you define your word. For whom you are writing, for what you are writing. Punjab Kesari is not a good newspaper. Shweta Mahendraji read Hindu, hardly read by people preparing for IAS. So, is Hindu is a bad newspaper or Punjab Kesari is a bad newspaper? So this debate of being sold, Umar Khayyam, just Professor Dr. Ratan quoted, Chhin liyo mose naina mila ke, Chedariya Mori, he died in poverty, and the films made on this song makes millions of dollars. So you have to learn this art of bringing creation to the commerce. Be it your professional life, be it your book writing, be it your film, be it your life. How successfully you manage to do it, you are the winner. Otherwise, there is no point discussing. This discussion, I told you, was always there, as he pointed out, John Donne, Shakespeare, when Shakespeare came. Marketing per se is not bad word in itself, is not a sin. What's wrong? There's nothing wrong. Everybody, even a child, to get a toffee from the mom has to market himself here, has to cry. Has to reach out to the mom. Nobody gives anything to anybody. And this is, rather, I feel this era very beautiful. Drawing back to Ratan Bhattacharjee, sir, he said, do you have that patience of waiting for 12 months to get your poem published in Anand Bazar Patrika? Today you have option, you go and put it on LinkedIn. I do it. I get 1,000, 1,200 likes, engagements. How I met Mosmi? I think from social media. And then television. So now you don't have to wait for 12 months. See, getting book published, whether the publishers approach you or you pay for it is one thing. But ultimately the judgment lies with the readers. If you find acceptance over there, the means, this is again an old debate between Gandhi and Machiavelli. The ends justify the means or the means justify the ends. This is nothing new. And this applies to here also. Some other day, how I used to be on television, how I found my space in print media or in electronic media, what strategies I have used, or I still see, even in debates where Mosmi is again referring to me, there are people who pay to be on that debate. I used to be paid, now I'm not paid. But ultimately what you talk on the television where thousands of people are watching, even if you pay me, what Shwetaji is saying, let's it be open. It's open, ma'am. But even if your paid articles of lakh rupees brings down my circulation and my TRP, I'm not going to accept you. So it has to be there a fine balance even with the payment. So ultimately the reader is the king. The content is the king, and that has survived all kind of onslaught and is going to survive on the onslaught. Overall, industry is bright, shining, you have a share in it. Two practical advice for Mosmis, for her writers, for her publication house. Instead of seeing the glass half empty, you can see the same glass half full. So still, books attracts 5% GST. तो 13% तो वहीं बचा लो भाई. Still the income from book selling or writing is tax free. तो कर लो भाई, वहां कुछ कमाई कर लो.
नहीं होती सर, अमेज़न ले लेते हैं.
Advertisement industry is complaining recently कि 15% में कैसे काम करें. That's the accredited agency gets the commission. So he says why the MBA students are asking me, sir, why should I join Lintas? Why should I join Mudra of Shweta Mahendra? Because they get 15%, out of 15%, 5% goes back as a customer discount. Hardly there is anything from design and layouts, and 5% is the cost. So in 5%, what an agency would keep for itself and give to the salary. So people are asking, and crowds are asking me, MBA, why should sir we join? So people are asking, why should we join academics? What is the salary? 7,000, 8,000 after PhD? So these questions are there. So my answer to all these questions are, define your why. Because in any sphere of life today, I ask, I'm practicing at Supreme Court, I say that tomorrow the Calcutta lawyer in the district court is earning much more than me. So should I shift to district court? Or a criminal lawyer is earning more than I'm a constitutional lawyer, for an example. So should I leave, or should I find a fine balance, or should I expand myself? So these are the questions which needs to be answered. And in the end, I can like to sum it up by saying two poems. इल्म की किताब है हंगामा. इल्म की इब्तिदा है हंगामा means the starting of the skill is the hangama, talk, which we are talking, TRP. For those who don't understand Urdu, I am translating it. Ilm ki ibtada hai hangama. Hangama. Starting point of my skill, my knowledge is TRP, hangama. Big talk. Ilm ki imtahan hai khamusi. So even if your book is not sold, you can take solace that you have raised to the zenith of your skill. And last but not least, ek charag, ek kitab. Ek charag, one diya, one lamp, one book. Ek charag, ek kitab, और एक उम्मीद, one hope. बस यही है आशा, उसके बाद तो जो कुछ है वो अफसाना है. एक चराग, एक किताब और एक उम्मीद, यही है आशा, उसके बाद तो जो भी कुछ है वो अफसाना है. Let's find solace in this one book, which could be, I remember each one of hold a very good novel inside us. Each one of us. Provided then why we all are not famous out there. The day you answer this is a hard fact. 2 + 2 is 4 is a hard fact. The hard fact that each one of us is carrying a beautiful novel within us. But then why we are not successful out there? 3 reasons. Reason 1, we do not want to be honest. So when you want to write about your life and you are not honest, then it is copycat. Then AI has come today. AI was there. You become afraid. And when you become afraid and you are not telling your own real story, it's a copycat story. Because the life, your experience you have gone is unique. And everybody wants to write about, read about unique things, not mass. So that first point, you don't want to be honest. The day you are honest, you are Amritaprita. No complaint. Second, you may lack the skill to comprehend and put it on the paper. That skill could be acquired, learned. But there is an author in every one of us. And the best example of meeting this creation to commercial, you may agree, you may disagree with me. Hindi poetry was almost finished, extinguished. Look at the shape Kumar Viswas has given it. Look at the shape. He charges for one poetry symposium 15 lakhs, 20 lakhs, 50 lakhs of rupees. Where are that break Bharatendu, Harishchand and all Mahadevi Burma and a kind of poet I ended up reading, dying in poverty, and this Shweta complaining about their poetry not finding place in NCERT book? Madam, why limited to NCERT book? See, there are two things. Either you chase media or be the power that media start chasing you. You choose your why. You want to chase media, you want to become a product chasing media, or you are a brand, you are a product where you want media to chase you. Be Kumar Viswas, charge 25 lakhs. Who is stopping you? Thank you.
Sir, one point I'm adding to you, the three requisites you told, fully agreed, 100% agreed. One more requisite I may suggest, that is the story from Victor Hugo. Victor Hugo was writing Les Miserables, and he was drafting the book nearly 14 times, if I am not wrong. Means not like editing. He wrote the draft, then he saw something wrong, then he totally discarded the draft. He wrote fresh again. In this way, he took 20 years for writing Les Miserables. So Victor Hugo was a great writer, and Victor Hugo was an outstanding personality. He wrote honestly, but still, he's a perfectionist. I think this perfection is required for every writer. Publishing is not at all an important thing.
No.
Important thing is to be perfect and honest in writing. Like, then Les Miserables will be written. Victor Hugo will come. Otherwise, it may not be possible for us to survive the test of time.
Thank you so yes, thank you so much. Indeed, we got to know about why commercials are important, how how literature is being commercialized. We got to know what actually we need to do today. Uniqueness. We need to be honest while writing. And yes, thank you so much, Dr. Ratan sir, Dr. Ajay Kummar Pandey sir, Sai Prakash sir, Shweta Mahendra ma'am, Shreyan Laha, and all those who are present here. And thanks a lot, Ratan sir and Ajay sir, because somehow or the other, the authors of Griffin Publication will accept today that somehow or the other we are taking inspiration. That yes, we need to continue writing. We need to continue what we are doing. And there is, we cannot say that, my book is bad or my book is good. If we have the passion in us to write, we should write. Rest, yes, who knows, we become like Shakespeare one day.
No, don't forget Sydney. When you new writers, when you write, don't forget Sydney, who wrote, "Look into thy heart and write."
Yes. Thank you so much. Getting all memories of my, university days, my college days, literature. Thank you so much. One day, very soon, we will organize a talk on AI and also a poetry session. Overflowing, poetry is the overflow of emotions, and who actually is a poet, or are we the one to judge who is a poet or who is not a poet? So we will definitely talk on this. Thank you so much, everyone, for being here today. It was a wonderful discussion, taking so much from you, taking so much from Ratan sir, Ajay sir, Sai Prakash sir, Shreyan Laha, like so many things. I don't know, I would request. Okay. So, taking so much from you today, all of you, I have learned what actually I have to do. As a writer, I have learned what I have to do as a poet, as an author. So we are not here to give up. We will keep on writing, whether we be published or we will not. I, as a publisher or the director of Griffin Publication, is here to support. Yes, definitely. I would never accept a script which I do not feel to be put forwarded to the young generation. And definitely I will accept scripts which I think would be read. We are open to editing. Definitely, if you are ready to get it edited, again, content, all right? So not judging anyone. I thank our special guest today, Dr. Ajay sir and Dr. Ratan Bhattacharjee, for taking out their time. I do not know, Ajay sir, I must have cancelled many of your TV programs today and wasted your Sunday. Dr. Ratan sir, like so many conferences, I do not know, I have pulled you. Sai Prakash sir, I have taken like your Sunday, but yes, something I'm taking, and as the people are watching live on Facebook today, they will also know what and where actually are we. Thank you so much, everyone. See you again some other day.
One second. I want to say to all the people who are watching you live on Facebook, and especially to you, let 2023 see some IPO in book publishing industry. Let there be IPO. Let it be marriage of commerce with the creation, and see the bright future of India, and let's see the industry contributing something in the $1 trillion economy which our Prime Minister Modi is hoping for. And at this note, all the Happy New Years.
Thank you so much.
Forward to wonderful 2024. Let Griffin become the first IPO in the book publishing industry.
Certainly with your guidance, sir. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you.